Hello, this is Swordrush, and I'm here as sort of a special request to go ahead and re-show some of the stuff that I built a long time ago. This stuff is still under construction. You can kind of see the construction up there, but I said that I would show. I showed this in a stream a while back, and I want to be sure to re-show it in sort of a more fuller capacity. There's a lot to go through, so we're going to go ahead and jump onto the main island here, and I want to kind of introduce this by saying that the my wife and I are the ones that built this island and built all of the stuff here. So it's sort of a, I don't know, it's kind of a hodgepodge of different designs and different things. We are survival players, so we don't generally make mega structures. We don't go crazy with farms. You're really not going to see too many highly technical things in this build, but it's just fun to kind of go through and see some of the design work that I've done to make this place a fun place to exist in. So first things first, of course, is you may be able to tell there is a lot of water all around us on each side. Now, when I started this world, it turned out, ignore all of the cats, it turned out that we began in the middle of an ocean. So it was really interesting build to try to gather all the resources that we needed, different kinds of trees and the other types of resources that are all very far away. And we'll look at a map to see exactly how far away here in a little bit. But for now, here's our little entrance. These are all of the different cats. Some of them are named and some of them aren't. Let me see here. But yeah, let's go and go inside. So I like to do, I like to design both the, a lot of the interior stuff here. So you can kind of see that every of the walls and the ceiling and the floor, they all have textures and patterns and such. Combinations of different things that kind of looked well together while still being functional. You can see we have some storage right here. There's storage down below. We have a kind of kitchen-y area here, right? With the little, like little spigots for water, which is actually, well, ignore the lava, but these are where the buckets end up going. And, it's different stuff like this. So this cauldron here you can use for different potions, but also right behind it, these little water spots. If I go ahead and take a bucket here, also ignore my inventory. It's really messy right now. So I've done this so that you can get infinite water right here whenever you want. So let's go and store that back in our inventory. We have stuff to do cooking with, as well as some additional food storage if we need to. And of course, some food just sitting out if you need it. Campfires, this whole fireplace right here is really useful for cooking food without using any coal or any other resources to get the food from its raw state. Like this is a cooked fish. You can place it right on the campfire to cook it. So that was a really useful addition to the game. But before we go upstairs or downstairs, let's go ahead and head out to this whole patio, this nice little patio spot. We collected a bunch of flowers to put out here, as well as that we have a bunch of fishing rods, great fishing rods to just sit out here and spend a lot of time just relaxing and enjoying the mega ocean that we're in for. Okay, so there is a little bit less upstairs, so we're going to go out and go upstairs first. You can kind of see we have a down spot here where you can fall down into water without getting hurt, but otherwise all you have to do with this is just boop, and you get thrown up into the next floor. So part of the design for this building was to make it look kind of like a lighthouse. So we're kind of getting more into the lighthouse section of it. Below us is sort of the living quarters that might be attached to a real lighthouse. But for now, let's go and look at this map. This is the map room. Oh, I fell down. Let me get back up there. Hang on. Here we go. So you can see all of the spots that we've explored, and that tiny little orange flag right there is where we started. So you can see there's just tons of ocean all around us everywhere, and even more ocean in other spots up here as well. In each of the little flags that we put onto the map, you can kind of see there's a bunch of different little markers. Those markers are to help us find interesting build points or villages or other aspects to note so that we can go back to later on. And honestly, a lot of the stuff I kind of still remember where it is. Now, that being said, there is one spot you can kind of see down here we explored, and then there's these maps that are just completely unexplored. That's because this right here is the nearest woodland mansion to us, so you can see how far away it is. Each of these maps are as far spread out as you can get, so it's like 2,000 by 2,000 blocks, I think. So if you can think about that, it's 1, 2, 3, and almost 4 diagonally across, so tons of distance away. We have a little bit more tiny little living quarters in the side here, just to make use of this space. Then we get into the kind of lighthouse spot. We have a little, what this is supposed to look like is like a mechanism to rotate the lighthouse skylight, but it doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of an aesthetic look with a spiraling staircase that goes up. There's a little bit of work stuff that you can, a little bit of storage and things if we had somebody that wanted to live here. Plus the other thing, we kind of have this kind of plaster look with exposed brick. So the idea, of course, is to try to make it look like a real building. Now, the other thing that we have is each of these are buried treasure maps from different places that we've been. So we've dug up a ton of buried treasure. Now, going all the way up to the top, this is the top. This would be where the lighthouse light would be shining out. For now, we just have kind of a little grandfather clock right here, some beds, and just a gorgeous view all the way around. We can see all the different things. There's a spot over there for the axolotls that we have. We'll go over there in a little bit. We have another spot for villagers. We have a little farming land right there. We have the enormous wool Gyarados that's sitting right there. That was worked by my wife. And then we have some wood over there that we can use. And of course, the portal and some lily pads to help get animals back from jungles and such. So let's go ahead and head back down. And I would say if you're looking for a really narrow way to move up and down between floors, these bamboo scaffolding work really, really well. But I'll sometimes use stairs, I'll sometimes use these water elevators, and other times I'll use the scaffolding. So if we go down one tiny floor over here, we can get into the original workroom and storage area that we had. You can see that I put these signs here for water main, so just like you could before, you can take a water bucket and aim straight for this stuff right here, and you will actually get infinite water there. It's hidden inside of these walls right here. But otherwise, anvils and ovens, and this is for throwing away stuff. So like if you want to throw away something, then you can toss it into the lava and get rid of it. But otherwise, you can see we've been collecting things for quite some time now. There's just tons and tons of stuff here, as well as we do have some villagers here to do some trades with if we need to, with an optional little pit there to throw things away if we need to, especially maybe some iron golems. They can be a kind of a menace sometimes. So, and also it's always helpful to put a clock if you haven't really used clocks before. Clocks are very handy to know when it's about to turn nighttime, and especially useful for us when we're playing survival. So let's go ahead and head back down. This is where we're getting a little more messy. Here's some additional storage with, like you can see these are for the extra lives and a big dragon head. We do have a few, well, you can see more storage, but otherwise we do have some farms. So this is our primary source of food. They're a little shoved in there, unfortunately. And then if we go down here to the bottom, then we have a bunch of different sheep, because like I said, if you want to build a huge Gyarados, you're going to have to get wool somehow. So these are automated shearing machines to get all of the different colors that we need. That's almost all of it. There's one last spot that we can look. If we go down this one last area here, the spiral staircase, let's go and drop down. Whoosh! And this is the bottom where we mine mostly. I've been building up a bunch of these spikes so that we can here we go, so that we can use this dripstone in other places if we need to, especially for construction. Great place. Over back there in the corner is where the slimes appear, but otherwise it's kind of clear. There's not much else down here, so we're going to go back up and look at some of the more interesting things. Like I said, water elevators can sometimes be great. In this case, getting us all the way to the top without having to deal with too much. And we're about to nighttime if you look at our little clock in our hand right here. So the black is straight up and down in the middle. That means that it's nighttime. So we can go ahead and jump in here. And I say we use survival. We have it so that we can go into creative only in emergencies when something just absolutely bananas happens to the server, which it has in the past. Not to this one, but to other times that I played. So for now, let's go ahead and the farming. You can see the little cute duck over there. First, let's huff it over to the axolotl place. You can also see I created a little mushroom island over there so that we can grow mushrooms whenever we need to. It has a lot of the mycelium and stuff like that, and a little cute house over there if you need to sleep. But for now, let's go and jump into this place right here. One of the few mechanisms we have, a little 3x3 door, but otherwise we have just a beautiful place for axolotls to swim around and live in with some other fish and other things like that. And you can also see in the middle some villagers. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. We like to divide up what our different places do. So here is all of our fishermen for trading. If we needed that, we catch a lot of fish, so we've had to use some or have something out there so that we can actually get rid of all those fish. But otherwise, I really like the design here in the middle with some of this purple that comes from the end. And of course, all stuff from the nether and coral and stuff down here under the water. Let's go ahead and go to the next island, though. So let's go and click that. Yeah, I never get tired of those doors. Let's go over here, and we can see a little spot where we have... this is actually another kind of rundown place that I designed, a little rundown building. But it has a lot of villagers in it, a lot of the ones that didn't have a spot before, so that we could do more. So yeah, Shoe Island, because I was told it looked like a shoe, so now it became Shoe Island. Oh, well, it looks like we can't get up here yet. Yeah, actually, it looks like there was some design going on, redesign of some of this stuff. You can kind of see there's some villagers here and there. I think maybe we were expanding this. Yeah. Well, let's not look too much at this. It's pretty much just the building out here. You can see with the tiny little dock. I really love the ability to put these trees in as well. I've been making great use of those trees. Okay, so there is one of the few actually big spots that I started designing. It's very unfinished, but it has a really good look to it, so I kind of want to show it off while we're still here. But we have to take the boat a little bit further. We have to go over here to that building sticking out of the water. It normally wouldn't be, but it's been expanded a little bit, and you can see that I'm planning on expanding it even further one of these days when I get the opportunity to. So before we get all the way there, we're actually going to, well, I guess let's go ahead and let's go over to the edge. There is so much glass, and there's so much glass because look at that. It's all empty. We cut off the ocean, or I cut off the ocean with all of this glass. So you can see all the way to the bottom, and it's not filled with water anymore. So this used to be an ocean temple, but the ocean temple, let's go and jump down here. So the ocean temple actually used to end much lower than this. That's those blocks down there that I'm kind of pointing to, right there, like this one. That's an original location for it, I believe. So, and it used to only come up a little bit, maybe halfway up here or so. Actually, let's take a look inside for a second. So, yeah, so right here, this top up here. Oh, I guess maybe there's an easier way. Let me go up these stairs real quick. I think we can... Oh, where are we looking? We want to go right here. Yeah, there we go. So that, I believe, used to be the very top of the of the ocean monument, so you can see all of the space that I've expanded. Maybe it didn't used to go out this far too. Maybe I actually expanded it in every direction. So yeah, so this is all of the original. The only thing that's left of the original is a little bit of this intersection, but otherwise I've added all of this other stuff. So let's go ahead and get a quick backup look. You can see how tall it is, very tall. And I've been slowly filling in all of this space. Although it's been a little bit since I've worked on it, but you know, sort of these patterns in the floor that I can do, so you can't get into the water, but it leaves it looking like the water is originating from here, dripping down into this spot, and then making its journey all the way over to a little bit of a fountain right here, a little waterfall. So that, and well, I guess the other thing you can kind of see, there's a little bit of a device in the middle there. And that device is what powers some of the, if I step into, let's see, yeah, so you can see in the top corner of my screen, so there are little conduits inside of those to give you some extra power while you're out here. If we fall down, here's underneath, it's very sparse, there's not much here, but that's where my building supplies are. I think that's pretty much most of it. I mean, most of the stuff that's really been put together, so I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, but thank you all for watching, and I'm happy to show this kind of stuff off. There's plenty more where that came from. There's still other server stuff that I can look at of other builds that I've done, but pretty much this is it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.